Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Ravenport in Farming Simulator 19 with me, Gazbeard, where we are running through the basics of the game as a starter series before doing more advanced stuff on other maps and running role plays and all the other good stuff. So, we're back at the store. Carlo's Reliable Motors. Apparently, that's what it's called. We need to lease some mowers because we're getting overgrown with grass back at the farm. We need to clear it before we put buildings down because we need to see what the ground is like underneath the tall grass. We also need to clear the tall grass from between the fields so that we can bale it and either sell it or store it before we extend the fields. So, get the PDA out. Let's have a look at what's available. So, these are the default mowers, and there's nothing wrong with them at all, except that, from my point of view, I know there are better mowers available. These ones cut the grass, leave it lying on the ground, and it can either dry on the ground, or you can take a windrower around and windrow it to make it available for picking up in either a forage wagon or a baler. However, from the mod hub we can get these ones, which are essentially exactly the same as these ones, except these ones put the grass into a swath for picking up with either a forage wagon or a baler directly. There's no need to run back around using a windrower. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lease these, and then we're going to cut all of our grass, give it all a first cut, get the ground nice and neat and tidy so that we can see what we're working with, because we're going to have to do some landscaping before we put down the sheds that we need. So now that one says it's 3.1 meter, so does that one. That's fine. That one's 8.4 meter, that one's 8.4 meter. They both operate at 13 mile per hour. And that one needs 70 horsepower, that needs 160, which comes to 230. And on our modified modified medium tractor, we've got 261 horsepower, so it can run these without a problem. Let's have a look. We're going to lease it. It's going to cost us £1,000 for the first day and the first operating hour. So lease, yep, and back, and then that as well. 2,100. This one, which is a lot cheaper than buying it, and I do want to buy them eventually, but right now we don't have the money to buy them outright, so I'm leasing them. And let's go back to the tractor. There they are, ready for pickup. So there is a specific way that we need to lift these. That one goes on the front. That. And I said there's a specific way to lift these. The large flat yellow curtain goes forward, goes to the front. That up, there we go. You can see there's a smaller yellow curtain on the back. The large yellow curtain goes to the front. Right, let's go back. Let's get all the grass cut. Get it swathed up, and we can whiz around with the baler. And I did replace the baler after the last episode. Took it back to the shop, took the old one back to the shop, sold it, and bought a new one, which is a bit special, and you'll see that when we take it round in action. And I'm just hoping that it does work with the trailer, because that particular trailer, the 12 bale trailer, I've not used with it before. And I'm hoping that the problem was the baler that we decided to use and not the bale trailer. Once we get this done, we get the sheds down, we can get our refueling and resupply points down. We can get the tractors on and working the fields with some helpers, and then we can start doing some contracts and getting some money coming in, because it'll be a while before any money comes in off the fields. Whoa, we'll take out the speed sign. I wasn't watching where I was going there. Now, I want to stop here for a moment, check the main map, and I just want to check what lands do we own. Right, we do own from basically north and east of this lane is ours, up to as far as the top level of cliffs. Okay, right, so we've got quite a bit of mowing that we can do there. Got to stay on the east side of that lane that goes up to the cliffs, and this rise here, have to stay the west side of it. Down here we can go as far as the little wiggly path that you saw me walking down at the start of the first episode. Right, so if we just back up a bit, should be able to do some mowing along this stretch and just get a little bit of extra grass. So what to do, if you remember, top left of screen above the menu there's a tractor with a little tool icon each side of it. So we want to unfold this one, tab G, go to the front one, unfold that, and then V to lower it and B to turn it on, tab G to go to the back one, V to lower it, B to turn it on. However, you see, actually let's just turn them off a moment. If you see on the left hand mower at the back there's a little yellow lever, and if I'm on the wrong one, wait a minute, there we go, and if I do that you can see it moving. Holding down the left mouse button, moving the mouse from side to side. When it's on the left hand end it's a broad swath, in other words it doesn't swath it at all, it just drops it where it cuts it. Move it to that side, it brings it all to the center as a narrow swath. And as you can see on the front one, on the left hand side again there's that yellow lever, does the same thing. So switch it on, the rear one, switch that on, and let's drive along here, and you should see it cutting and dropping it in a swath. There we go, see it's dropping it to the center. Means we can come along either with the baler or with a loading wagon, pick it all up and continue along here and then up the side of the fields. We're not going to be greedy, we're not going to try and get all of it, we just want to get enough so that we can see what we're doing. Better to do it before we plant the field as well. This will give us a good head start on getting feeding material for the animals when we eventually get them. Right, now we need to lift the mowers at this point so that we can turn around. go across the top of the field, just get ourselves in the right position, then we can lower them down again. This is a bit tricky because we don't have a grass meadow and we're just doing the margins of the field. This is always a bit more fiddly than working on a major meadow. Right, lower it down, lower it down. Let's go along here again. We're not quite, well, we missed a little bit at the start, at the edge of the field. It's okay, as long as we get the bulk of it. This is all bonus grass, because it's actually the bit down by the farmhouse that's the main reason we're doing this, but we want to get our money's worth out of it, renting the mower, leasing the mowers. So, might as well do this. Again, lift the mowers, come back and reposition. Take this right down to that shed. That tree is going to be in the way, which is going to be a full-on major pain. We may have to chop it down. So let's jump out and do that. Let's get it out of the way. Right. And at the start of any game, you're always jumping around like this. Okay, so we get our chainsaw out. Let's use the mouse scroll wheel. Turn the chainsaw and find the cutting point, which is there. Crouch down. Try and get as much of the tree as possible because it is worth money. Oh, now I'm using the lumberjack mod, which allows me super strength, which you saw briefly in the last episode. But it also allows me to do this. You see how the cutting disc is red, as opposed to when I come over here and it's green. When it's red like that, it allows me to use the chainsaw to get rid of the tree stump. Neat, huh? Right, now, next thing I want to do is I want to jump onto that tree stump, and you see how it's now white? That allows me to get rid of any non-productive branches. Nope, 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 nope. Don't let it cut. Keep it white. Or red. Red works as well. Might have to cut that down in order to get it to take out those branches for us. Yeah. Okay. What about up there? Will it do it up there? Not quite. There. can't quite see it there. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to get these major branches cut off the main trunk. Like that. A bit like a tree surgeon would do in real life. Although they would probably take the branches off before taking the main trunk down. Oh. Right, so we want to get these out of the brush. So I've already double tapped left Alt to keep the super strength on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring all of these across to the area where we're not going to be mowing, and when you've got this circle white and you align it along the branch like that, and you just tap the left mouse button to make it cut, then if it disappears, that's great. If it doesn't, it means that you can cut it off and harvest it. Come on. Come on. There we go. Now, it's always better, as you just saw when I tried to take the end off the other one, it disappeared. So it's better to take the end off before you separate the side branch from the main one. Yeah, I thought we still had something stuck on that one. It's there, right. Now it's gone. And this one over now. Whoa! Come back. Not finished with you yet. Take all of this off in one like that. Good. Now, all of this wood is worth money. I could just destroy it using the chainsaw, but if I can get money for it, then it's worth doing this little bit of work, especially at this point in the game when we're going to find ourselves increasingly strapped for cash as we go forward until we can get the crops running properly. Okay, let's take that end off. That's it, that allowed it to lift up a bit. That's better. Yeah. Oh, about there. Take that end off there. Come on. There we go. And split that piece off there. Oh, a couple of bits of sellable wood. Of course, we need to get ourselves an appropriate trailer or vehicle taking this all to the sawmill. Should be the last of the wood here. It's big and heavy. Oh, I think I might just sacrifice the whole end of this just for speed. Like that. And I think I'll cut this into a couple of different pieces, just so that when we come to transport it, it's going to be easier. there. Now, we should not be able to lift this. If you look at the bottom of the menu on the left hand side, it's 2,000 kilos basically. That's where the super strength that we get from the lumberjack mod comes into its own. It allows us to do that. Normally we should be using a tractor with a log grab on the front loader, or a proper front loader or logging vehicle. But for speed, because we're primarily farming rather than logging, just going to use the super strength. Okay, right, so and then it's this area down here that I want to get done next. And this one, I'm less worried about being neat and precise. Because we're going to have to landscape this one anyway, so any mowing that we do here is just to try and salvage a bit of grass before we remove it all by doing the landscaping. Oops, whoa. Went all over the place there. Unintended. That's not working very well. Again, going all over the place there. So, I want to go round the edge of the next field as well. So I'm going to speed that up, time lapse that, and I'll see you back here in a minute when all of that's done. And there we are. That's probably about as much as we can reasonably expect because of the slope of the hill. Maybe get this last little bit here, and that will be... oh, that front mower's still cutting. Alright. Do what we can to merge that. For a rough and ready job, that's about it. That's about all we can hope to do. Whoa, stop, tractor, stop, halt. It was rolling away. Oops, that's right, X and X. Oh, no, 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 no. What happened there? There we are. Right, okay, so we're going to get a lot more grass out of that than I expected. However, the cutting on this side of the farm is just because we already had rented the mowers. That is the 7250, isn't it? Yes. So, let me just check something a second. Just want to check what horsepower we need on that plough. 180. So, yeah, we do need to swap tractors. So if we drop that mower there, roll forward and drop that mower there, backwards, 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 pick up that weight across here, right, got a little bit of baling that we must do before we start ploughing, and the ploughing is the main point of today's episode. We also need to move that wood again. Just get the baler out and collect the stuff that we really must get baled up before we do anything else. Which is these rows that run between the fields. So unfold the baler, lower the pickup, turn the baler on, and yeah, I think we'll collect it as silage straight away, so we'll leave the bale wrapper on. This is a combined baler and wrapper. It's a port of the in-game Kern round baler. Whoa, round baler, unload bales automatically. Is it Y or Z? Not Z. Automatically, there we go. Now that, I know that looks like it's a grass bale, but you see how there's no hairiness on the bale? If I zoom in, see how it's got a very smooth finish? That's the way that this baler does wrapped bales. And you'll see that if I put it in a bale barn, it will change to having the wrapper on it. For some reason, when it drops them, this baler does not drop them with the wrapping on. But I do know that it's dropping them as silage bales, so I'm not worried. I've used this baler on a lot of different farms. My main worry here is, can I get round that tree without rolling the tractor and the baler? I can. Excellent. Now, one of the other things about this baler is it's actually dropping 8,000 litre bales, not 4,000. They're 8,000 litres. And as you can see, drops them a little bit more frequently than the regular balers. So it's a little bit of a cheat, this baler, because you get a bit more from your field than you expect. Now, I don't use it because it's a cheat. I use it because it's the only combined square baler wrapper available for the game. I really cannot believe that nobody else has made one.